So I hope that uh, thorax questions relating to the today's my lecture will be highlighted. That is relating the thorax. Half of the questions I have covered in the last lecture, and remaining part I am going to cover today's lecture. So, my dear students, I hope that you are enjoying the rainy season because even at mirrors it is a heavy rain started. So any moment the electricity or network problem may occur. So that I have postponed my lecture, and you have to join me at uh, just now. So just planning is because of the heavy rain and electricity and net problem I have taking now. So it is a humble request to all of you, that is stay safely in the home, study also, and you may join for the even second year teachers for the second year lecture. Your exams will be first year anytime announced. Now at present it is not announced. So you can be planned and concentrate all the topics relating the first year. Once you cover the first year and give the exam, then you have to maximum concentrate on second year, because we have the second year also important, and that will you have to study afterwards. And one by one second year teachers will be going to join for this group, and they are going to take their concerned subjects that you have to remember. So here, almost all you have to tell the remember the almost all the points in the thorax. I have told the coronary circulation, thoracic duct, hilum of the right and left lung, walls of the heart, pleura, arch of aorta, then right atrium, right left ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Little bit I will highlight now. Last time I already highlighted the that is the lung maximum, and today we may highlight that is the about the heart. So question is asked relating the heart, either one short notes you have to make. Right atrium. What is the right atrium? Right upper chamber of the heart, which is receives the deoxygenated blood from the superior inferior vena cava, and it pumps the blood into the right atrium to the right ventricle through the right atrioventricular orifices. That is the one you have to remember. Right atrium always receiving the, that is the first one, deoxygenated blood, that you have to know. Then here what you have to remember about the interior structure. It is having the internal structures of the right atrium. Sorry. Sorry. So this is all right atrium interior structure can be divided into the three groups. One anterior rough part, posterior smooth part, and septal wall. Anterior, we have the rough part, that is we have the muscular pectinity and crista terminalis. That is all there appear like a rough, and which is appears like a comb-like structure. That is we call as a crista terminalis, and muscular, that is we have the sulcus terminalis and crista terminalis inside. Sulcus terminalis is the narrow, which is communication, that is the groove formed between the superior and inferior vena cava on the external aspect, that you have to remember. Then next you have to remember about the what are the internal structure, as I have told, the anteriorly rough, so muscular pectinity is there. Then you have to remember about the crista terminalis anteriorly. Then posteriorly we have the rough, after the posterior we have the smooth one, which is an area which represents the fossa ovalis, depression, and annulus ovalis, margin of that. Fossa ovalis, annulus ovalis, coronary sinus opens, and small openings where the blood supply to the heart is supplied by the coronary artery, and veins which are bringing deoxygenated blood. That also of the particular heart also brought to the right atrium only by the venae cardi minimi, small venous opening, venae cardi minimi, and coronary sinus. These all are the important part you have to remember about the right atrium. Comparing to the left atrium, here left atrium, left chamber of the heart receives the oxygenated blood from the lung. Four pulmonary veins, they bring the blood from the lungs to the left atrium. In the left atrium, what you have? You have muscular pectinity very small in the auricle region, and whatever the fossa ovalis we have called in the right atrium, that you have to remember in the, that is totally in the, that is you are going to get in the almost all the part which is in the region where we call right atrium fossa ovalis. In the left atrium, we call that region, that is in the left atrium, depressed or shallow groove like, that is we call as in a fossa lunata. Fossa lunata, this is the we call in the, that is the left atrium, and fossa ovalis in the right atrium. So these are you have to remember. Muscular pectinity, that is all are the more in the right atrium, less very in the region of auricle region, they are present, that you have to remember. Venae cardi minimis are present. Here small openings, we don't have that. Smooth chamber, quadrangular chamber, that is about the left atrium. Then going to the two ventricle, left ventricle and right ventricle. Right ventricle, left ventricle, you have the inflowing rough and upflowing smooth. Inflowing rough part, which is consists the ridges, bridges, and pillar, and chorda tendinae. We call bridges are the chorda tendinae. That you have to remember. Then right ventricle, where the pulmonary trunk arises and it is carrying the blood to the lungs. And whereas the left ventricle, there is an arising of the aorta, that you have to remember. So ridges, bridges, pillars, orifices, from where the which atrium the ventricle blood is reaching, that you have to tell. Inflowing, first one inflowing rough in the right ventricle, inflowing rough and outflowing smooth. Outflowing means towards the pulmonary trunk, that you have to know. So this is all about the four chambers of the heart. You have to tell weight, external features, apex, left ventricle, it is formed, base is formed by the left atrium, it is present posteriorly. It has a four borders, that is upper, lower, right and left surfaces. We have sternocostal surface, diaphragmatic surface and left surface, three surfaces you have tried. Weight 350 grams, you have to remember. And almost all it has apex, base, three surfaces and four borders. That also you have to write in the heart. Okay. So after this, we are going to opening in the thoracic abdominal diaphragm. Just 2 days back, I have sent one link to the group, that is a diaphragmatic openings. If you have studied or seen that link, you might be getting the almost all. Larger openings in the diaphragm, whatever the structure entering, diaphragm is a partition between the, you have the partition between the thorax and abdomen. Whatever structure which are entering from thorax to the abdomen, or neither abdomen to the thorax, that you have to remember. But one common question, 2 marks question commonly asked, that you have to remember. In the 2 marks question, almost all the you are going to get it. That is the, what are the larger openings of the diaphragm? That is, you have the aortic and inferior vena cava and esophageal. So these are the three larger. Thoracic duct, zygous vein, those are the we are going to get. That is and ganglion, we have lymphatics, we are going to have, but smaller opening thoracic duct, azygous vein, you have to remember. Larger openings in the thoracic diaphragm, you have the inferior vena cava, aorta, and you have the esophagus. Those you have to remember. Then going to the bronchopulmonary segment, I have covered little bit. These are the well-defined sectors and all. That is, you have to remember 10, 10 on the right lung, left lung. That you have to remember all the 10. 10 names also you have to remember. Apical, anterior, posterior, medial, lateral. Then apical, apicobasal, and we have the anterior basal, posterior basal, medial basal, lateral basal. Those all are you have to explain in the 10. So according to that, you have to write. Then even you can remember about the question. Commonly important question is asked mediastinum. Mediastinum is a median cleft between the two lungs. That is a median space between the two lungs or the midline structure in the thorax. They all called as an that is a mediastinal structure or mediastinum is a median septum between the two lungs, which is one separated by the whatever you have the pleura and lung. That is the middle space. You have even pericardium and heart. Heart is a content, major content in the middle mediastinum. Divisions of mediastinum. The whatever the boundaries you have in the mediastinum, you have to tell first here boundaries. It is you have the sternum anteriorly, posteriorly vertebral column, superiorly thoracic inlet, inferiorly diaphragm. That is the boundaries in general. Then this diaphragm, this mediastinum is divided by the imaginary plane passing into the sternal angle and lower border of the T4 vertebrae. That you have to remember, and that is passing through the sternal angle to the T4 vertebrae. That plane divides the mediastinum into superior and inferior. Inferior is again divided by the 3 by the pericardium, that is anterior, middle, and posterior mediastinum. Those you have to remember. Superior mediastinum, all you have to remember about the branches of the heart, arch of aorta, and pulmonary trunk, then right brachiocephalic, left common carotid, left subclavian, and all that you have to remember. So this is all about the superior mediastinum and in general mediastinum. Sometimes posterior mediastinum contains or contents of any mediastinum can be asked, that you have to remember. Lower part of the thymus gland and all will be they are present as a content of the superior mediastinum. Then posterior mediastinum, you have major content like a trachea and esophagus, and we have all these structures which are most posteriorly present. Those are named as a content in the posterior. Middle mediastinum. Middle mediastinum, you have to remember about the middle mediastinum are the first one. You have to tell about the heart and pericardium. So those are the main content in the, that is you get in the middle mediastinum. Anterior mediastinum, sternopericardial ligament we have, and some amount of areolar tissue. We are going to get fat areolar tissue, lower part of the thymus gland, and the sternopericardial ligament. That you are going to get it. Next is intercostal muscles. You have the external intercostal muscle, internal intercostal muscle, and intercostalis intimi. All these 3 muscles you have to tell. Origin insertion you have to study. Then in that you have to mention the what are the nerve supply corresponding intercostal nerve supply. Actions will be elevation of ribs, depression of rib, prevent the retraction, bulging. 4 actions will be you have to explain in the intercostal muscle. So my intention here to just you have to remember all 3 intercostal muscles, origin, insertion, and nerve supply, and all actions. Actions I have told, elevation of the rib, depression of the rib. Then I have told the that is the retraction, bulging is prevented by the intercostal muscle. Intercostalis intimi, external intercostal muscle, internal intercostal muscle, that you have to name. Pericardium, this is a covering of the heart. Pericardium, we have fibrous and serous pericardium. Fibrous and serous you have, that is you have to remember. Fibrous pericardium, parietal and visceral, we have to divide. This pericardium, we are going to have the, that is the almost all the, that is we are going to get the covering around the almost all the heart. So that is we are going to mesothelium. It is how we have studied the covering of the lung, pleura, covering of the brain meninges, covering of the abdomen, the peritoneum. Like that, pericardium you have to study. Then here in the applied anatomy, you have to tell about the pericarditis, inflammation of the pericardium, collection of the pericardial, the abnormal collection of fluid in the pericardial cavity, we are going to call as a pericardial effusion that can be tapped at the fifth intercostal space entering into the apex. Near that, we can tap it. So you have to remember about the post myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction, MI, there may be the pericarditis and pericardial, uh, that is the inflammation you are going to get it. So that is you have to know. So that is a pericardium, clinical anatomy of pericardium, types of pericardium, and what are the your fibrous and serous pericardium, that you have to know. Blood supply of heart and this coronary circulation. Number 1 and number 18, these all are the I have discussed in the first. Okay, mediastinum, just now I have covered the here superior mediastinum, here superior mediastinum. In that you have to know about the mediastinum, superior and posterior. Important contents are important of the mediastinum, you have to remember. Mediastinum, you cannot, this is a space, and within this midline, the structures which are coming, those we call as a mediastinal structure, including esophagus, trachea, all we relate in the mediastinal structures. Okay, so this is in between the two lungs and pleura, space or cleft, that is we call mediastinum. Then most important comes about the azygous vein, thoracic. See, either one question will be always comes, that is thoracic duct or the azygous vein. I have told the almost all the azygous vein, how it is formed, and you have to explain the hemiazygous, accessory hemiazygous vein. That also you have to explain. What are the things, headings you have to study? I have told how it is formed, thoracic duct. What is the formation of thoracic duct? That you have to know. And next you have to know about what are the branches. You have the branches like accessory and azygous and hemiazygous vein, accessory and hemiazygous vein. So these all you have to know about the. It is a tract which is communicated when there is a superior vena cava obstruction is there. That time only channel which is you are going to transmit the venous blood to the right atrium is by the through the, that is the, you have the azygous vein. You know the relations of the right lung azygous vein arching over the root of the right lung, that you are knowing, and that you have to remember in the azygous vein. Azygous vein beginning with the lumbar veins, costal veins formation, runs in the posterior mediastinum, crossing diaphragm, entering into the superior mediastinum, and in the you are going to in the arching the right lung and opening into the superior vena cava. So that is about the azygous vein. It is a channel which communicates to the abdominal veins to the thoracic, that is the opening into the superior vena cava. So that is about azygous. Then comes about the thoracic duct. I have told this is a duct we call thorax. This is largest lymphatic duct, which is you have to remember in the body. And largest lymphatic duct, this diagram, azygous vein and thoracic duct diagram, I have told you have to practice it, and you have to see the drawing of the both azygous vein is separately you can draw thoracic duct. This thoracic duct which is beginning, that is as a upper part of the cisterna chyli, at the upper part of the abdomen, at the upper end of the cisterna chyli. It begins in the, and it crosses the diaphragm, enters into the thorax. In the thorax, it runs posterior mediastinum. Then it is entering into the superior mediastinum. Then it enters from the right side to the left side, and in the left side, it opens into the that angle formed between the internal and internal jugula. That is, we have the internal carotid and subclavian artery. Veins, sorry. That is the thoracic duct will be opening into the veins, angle formed between the internal jugular and subclavian vein, angle in the left side, it opens into these veins. That is a lymph is poured into the, that is a lymph is poured into the, that is the in the veins. So that is, you have to remember about the thoracic duct. So thoracic duct, you have to tell the what is the course, relations in the part of the, relations in the part of the, you have to tell posterior mediastinum, superior mediastinum and all. So almost all relations you have to tell at the diaphragmatic level, abdomen, diaphragmatic opening level, then posterior mediastinum, then superior mediastinum, then you have to remember about the neck region. That is all relations you have to study in the thoracic duct. So this is a very important I am talking, because azygous vein, thoracic duct, they are the commonly fixed question is asked alternately, that you have to practice with the diagram. So almost all remains. Trachea sometimes is asked. I have taken the trachea is a respiratory passage when you know that is larynx lower part will be continued as a trachea. Trachea is that is we have non-collapsible cartilaginous. It has about 16 to 20 cartilaginous ring anteriorly. Posteriorly, it is a flat. Posteriorly, it is flat. You are going to get it. Can you hear me? One person unmute, because my internet is showing this one. Anyone is? Can you?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, or you don't see the slide?
Yes, sir.
You can hear me, or you can.
Can see the
Okay, it is
can
giving me.
can hear you, sir.
Okay, okay. Slide is now, it is not important. You can hear, because I am getting the message that is the internet facility is stable, so that I don't know how many you are connected or no. So just I am covering last 2 to 3. That is short notes left relating the thorax. That is the trachea. Trachea is a windpipe, or we call as a respiratory passage, lower respiratory passage. We call lower part of the larynx. It continues, and it will be ending at the bifurcation of trachea. That is at the, we have the, that is the two, right and left principal bronchus is divided by the trachea. Till that we call as a trachea. Then afterwards bronchus. These bronchus again redivide into a tree pattern, tree branching pattern. Those we call primary, secondary, tertiary bronchioles, till the alveoli, that is microscopic air passage. That you have to know about the, that is a bronchial tree. Bronchial tree is different. Then you have to remember about the, that is the bronchopulmonary segments are different. That you have to remember. Trachea, in that almost all relation, esophagus and trachea relations, you have to tell trachea is front and behind will be the esophagus. Trachea, in that emergency any obstruction to the upper airway, to breathe out the tracheostomy, we are going to do artificial anterior wall of the thorax, anterior wall of the trachea, that is made whole on the anterior wall of the trachea, and breathing from that side is known as a tracheostomy. In the cancer patient, oral cancer, respiratory upper airway cancers, that time throat cancer and all, patient is unable to breathe, or emergencies like any obstruction to the upper airway, that time we have to save the patient. We have to do the emergency surgery known as a tracheostomy. So that is you have to remember in the applied anatomy of trach. Trachea, that is the inflammation of trachea, that all includes in the lower respiratory tract infection and all. Bronchial asthma, you have to remember, tracheostomy. Then bronchogenic carcinoma and all, they also affect the trachea and all, that you have to remember. Any foreign object enter into the trachea, it will be causing severe cough. Any inhaled foreign particle, it will be entering into the right lung more commonly, because the right principal bronchus is more in line with the trachea. Means it is a line, shorter and wider and more in line with the trachea. That you have to remember. So this is all about the trachea. Esophagus, you have to remember esophagus, it can be asked in the neck, thorax and abdomen. This is the one organ which is present in the neck starting, then thorax, it is running its course and ending in the abdomen. So all three parts you have to remember. Just I will give you the idea, but it is a very rarely asked, but other important topics are given concentrated. So esophagus C is not commonly asked, so that you have to concentrate other all. Esophagus, you have to mention the thoracic, neck part, thoracic part and abdominal. That is a total 10 inches, 25 centimeter. Means I have told the 25 centimeter organs in our body. We have the esophagus, stomach, duodenum and ureter, 25 centimeter. So all these measurement you have 10 inches or 25 centimeters that you have to remember. So esophagus, you have to remember curvatures and strictures of the esophagus, that you have to remember what is the distance from the molar teeth, the incisor teeth. We are going to measure from the incisor teeth. So that you have to remember. So almost all esophagus, you have to esophageal cancer, we have difficulty in swallowing, we are going to have, and we are going to get the almost all the in the esophageal cancers relating to the other cancers in the mediastinal structures, that you have to remember. But what you have to heads I will tell to study of the esophagus. What is the introduction of the esophagus? Esophagus is a narrow muscular tube connecting the oropharynx to the stomach. That you have to, it is a length and all you have to remember. What are the curvatures, anterior and lateral curvatures? According to the spine shape, vertebral column shape, that will take the shape of the vertebral column. So that anterior curvature and lateral curvatures. Then strictures, what are the structure compressing over the esophagus? That you have to know in the strictures on the esophagus. Then you have to study the relations of the cervical part, thoracic part and abdominal part. All you have to remember. Then lastly, you have to tell about the clinical anatomy. Esophagitis, inflammation of the esophagus. Then it is may associated with the hyperacidity and all, that you have to remember in the esophagus. So esophagus is not commonly asked in the thorax, but sometimes it is because thoracic part of the esophagus can be asked in the thorax, that you have to remember. But whole esophagus you have to study in the cervical, thoracic and abdominal part you have to study. Abdominal part can be asked, but abdomen weightage is more. So there there is no chance of asking the esophagus. Thoracic inlet, last question, 24th will be that is the thoracic inlet. This thoracic inlet, if you have the, that is at the upper part, almost all the where we call as the anteriorly boundary of the manubrium sternis, suprasternal notch, then side with the on the each side by the first rib, then posteriorly, that is we call as a T1 vertebrae, body of the T1. Means what? Jugular notch, upper margin, T1 vertebrae on each side. We are going to have the, that is the, on each side we have the, that is the first rib. This we call as thoracic inlet boundaries. What it contains? Almost all the upper part of the entry, we have the apex of the pleura and cervical part of the pleura and apex of the lung. These all structures we are going to, means what? Pleura, lung at the part you are going to get. Then you have the inlet, in that you have the esophagus and trachea entering into this thorax crossing. So that neck to the thorax coming structure you have to mention. Neck, it is a thoracic inlet it is a boundary or the where we get the inlet entering structure at the superior part. So that you have to tell about this thoracic inlet. So first rib on each side, so that is suprasternal notch or jugular notch anteriorly, posteriorly, body of the T1 vertebrae. This is the boundaries of thoracic inlet. Content I have told, almost all thoracic structures you have to write, including the branches of the arch of aorta. That is right brachiocephalic, left common carotid, left subclavian, internal jugular vein. Then you have the nerve, vagus and phrenic nerve. So all these you have to mention here. So this is all about the my today's lecture, that is relating the thorax. I have covered the anatomy paper second, that is a question number 2, thorax. So these thorax question, most important, that is I have covered. So diagram I have not shown because almost all important diagrams you are gone through that, and you have to study C, important things, thoracic duct, azygous vein you have to study, then right atrium, left ventricle, pleura, either pleura or pericardium, one question will be asked, either azygous vein, thoracic duct, one question will be asked, then bronchopulmonary segment and the difference between the right and left lung, then hilum of the left lung or right lung, that you have to mention, blood supply of heart or coronary circulation, that is commonly asked. So you have to study intercostal muscle, pleura, pericardium, lung, heart, azygous vein, thoracic duct. So minimum these you have to study, but lung is wide, big topic, heart also. So short notes you have to plan. So it is a very important to know how the short notes will be asked, that I have guided here. So here with this anatomy paper second, questions relating to the question number 2 relating to the thorax, 5 marks we have discussed. So only 3 to 4 minutes remains. So any doubts you have, please you can ask. Next time I am going to take the question number 3. That is, I am going to explain question number 3, lower extremity, 5 marks. Then afterwards, histology, important part, things you have to know. Then I have question number 4, lower extremity, 10 marks question. Again, I am going to explain. So it is very important. Then abdomen question. Now question number 5 and 6 relating to the abdomen. Liver, spleen, stomach are very important. Then next part, duodenum, small intestine, kidney, right and left, pancreas, pancreas, kidney, duodenum, stomach, and liver. These are very important. You have to know this. Okay. Pelvis part, question number 7. That is you have to this. Yes, Kiran Kumar Rathod. Any question you want to ask? Ask. Kiran Rathod, bola. Questions you want to ask? Raise the hand. Yes.
No, sir.
Yes. Are you understood the topic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. ठीक है. 3 minutes are remaining. Anyone wants to raise the hand, or you can become yourself unmute and you want to ask a question, you can ask. So I'm talking about the question number 5 and 6, liver, stomach, and duodenum, that you have to remember. And kidney and pancreas also important. That pelvic part, uterus is important, urinary bladder, rectum, anal canal, testis, rectal fossa, and prostate. So prostate, uterus, rectum, urinary bladder, these 4 you will study, means you can able to answer for the question number 7. So this is all about the my future planning relating covering the question paper. If you have the screenshot, you can take screenshot and you can make the list of that. That list you can keep and study. I have already dictated, you have to tick mark, and important things you have to remember. So anyone wants to ask me the question, please ask, because 1 minute remains. Anytime it may stop. So that till that we continue. You have any doubts or any questions relating thorax, you can ask. And whatever the planning of the second year paper question, that is, sorry, second year BHMS. So you have to concentrate much on the first year, because unless and until you give the first year paper, you are not going to second year. So your term of second year started now 1st August. So that you are as if you are passed and gone into the second year. If there is a corona is not there, you would have been in the second year. So due to the corona pandemic, you are all facing, and we all. So that whatever the university guidelines you have to follow, that is the one intention I have to tell. So all we at least 1 or 2 weeks I may take the lecture. Once the second year people overtake, and we are going to leave the lectures, so that we are covering the almost all. So next lecture I will cover the question number 3, lower extremity. That is questions I am going to deal short notes. Okay. So remain in the home, take care. Your home people also, you have to take care, because all it is very widely spreading in Miraz Sangli also. So safely remain and take care of your family members. So that is the one advice to you. Use mask and all for going to the public places or in the crowds. Don't avoid to visit to the crowd places. So here we